Hello everybody, Zenif here. Welcome to Chapter 4 of the Basics of Programming series. It's been a while, but I am finally back with a new mic too. In today's chapter, we will be covering universal topics of programming, things you will find in most, if not all, programming languages. Let's get started with Chapter 4. We will start off with some basic topics first before we get into the more complex ones. Let's start off with variables. Variables are pretty similar to the ones you've probably learned about in math. They are placeholder values for values that could change over time. For example, the x position of the thing on your screen. This value changes when you move the thing around. Let's say you want the x position of the thing to do something. You could use a variable to store that x position, and then you could use that x position for other things. For things that will or can change over time, it is best to use variables.
If you're liking the content you see, then you should consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind if you want. My goal for the end of the year 2023, is to reach 100 subscribers. But one sub could help contribute to that, and you can always change your mind later if you want to. Now, on with the video.
Now, we move on to if statements. If statements are really simple. They follow a simple criteria, and if that criteria is true, then they will execute the code inside the statement. For example, if 7 is greater than 5, then execute banana. In most circumstances, if statements are used to check if something that it changes is true. But in this example, 7 is always going to be greater than 5, no matter what. Variables can also be used in if statements, like if a variable is equal to 10, then execute apple. Now on to a pretty similar one, else statements. Else statements are similar to if statements, but a little different. Else statements follow an if statement and check if that criteria isn't true. If it isn't, then it will execute the code inside the else statement. So if a criteria is true, it'll execute the code inside the if statement, but if the criteria is false, then it will execute the code inside the else statement. This one is important to know. Integers, floats, and booleans. There are multiple types of numbers in programming. The main ones we are going to cover are integers, floats, and booleans. Integers are just whole numbers with no decimals, fractions, etc. Floats are numbers that have decimals and fractions, unlike integers. Integers and floats can both be negative or positive. Last one is booleans, which are numbers with only two possible values, 1 and 0. These are the only values it can be, and absolutely nothing else. A boolean will be used to say, like, if touching the mouse pointer, it would report a 1, meaning true. So the 1 would mean true, and the 0 would mean false. In conclusion, we talked about basic universal concepts of programming that will be in almost every programming language you see. In the next chapter, we'll discuss about learning a programming language and how to program in it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is Zenif signing off. Peace.